There are over 11,000 species of birds in the entire world, and every single species has its unique sounds, calls, and songs that it makes. Some of these songs are incredibly beautiful, so I compiled my top 10 most beautiful songs in the entire world. Let's dive in. Alright, so number 10, we're starting off with the pied currawong. This bird's native to the east coast of Australia, and it looks kind of like a corvid, a raven, or a crow. It's called a currawong because that's kind of what the sound that comes out of its mouth sounds like a currawong, currawong. It likes to live in eucalyptus forests as well as old growth forests in the area. This bird is pretty used to humans as well, so it'll hang out in parks, cities, farms, you name it. So let's listen real quick to this beautiful call. That was absolutely beautiful, but it's time to move on to number 9, the olive whistler. This bird is also native to Australia, but the southeastern part of the country. It also resides on the island of Tasmania as well. These birds like wooded forests, and they typically hang out solo. In fact, a lot of these birds that have really complex and beautiful calls, a lot of them tend to be solo birds rather than flocking birds. This bird eats insects, little leaves and buds, as well as fruits. So let's listen to this whistling call of the olive whistler. Next on the list is the Mexican whippoorwill. Now this bird is native to the southeastern United States, specifically southeastern Arizona and southwestern New Mexico, as well as Mexico as a whole. This bird is mostly only heard and it's rarely seen. A lot of these nightjar species have some very cool and haunting calls, but they're really hard to find as they only really come out at night. This makes it one of the least studied birds in the entirety of North America. As you'll see on this list, I really love the night singing birds. Those nocturnal kind of haunting calls really stand out to me as being beautiful. So any list like this is going to be subjective. If you have suggestions that you want to add to the list throughout this video, put them down in the comments below. Now the reason this bird's called a whippoorwill is because the sound it makes kind of comes out like a whippoorwill, whippoorwill. So listen to this call real quick. You know any bird named after its call is going to be a good one. All right, next on this list is the Asian coel. Now this bird has a very beautiful kind of ringing call that calls through the forest. And it's also one of the few cases where the female looks a lot more stunning, at least in my opinion, than the male. This bird's native and widespread throughout the Asian continent, including the Philippines, Malaysia, Myanmar, Thailand, and Vietnam, as well as some patchy parts of China. It's a brood parasite, meaning that it lays its eggs in the nests of other birds, and these birds actually grow up with its foster parents, which is not typically the case with these species. It makes a variety of different calls, and some of them are kind of a little bit annoying, to be honest, if you're hearing them all day, but one of them just stands out to me as really beautiful, so just take a listen. Now the next bird on this list is a little tiny owl called the brown bubuk. Now this bird is also native across the Asian continent and it's pretty widespread. It has one of those really soothing calls that carries through the night. I really like the night calling birds. And it likes to live in the lowland rainforest in that thick vegetation. It primarily eats insects, but it'll also go after frogs, lizards, small birds, and small mammals as well. So let's take a listen to the bubuk's song. The majority of you from my audience live in North America, and so this one will speak to you. This is the Western meadowlark, one of the most nostalgic calls, and its scientific name is actually Sternella neglecta. Now, Audubon actually named it neglecta because he felt like some of those explorers that came and described birds actually neglected the Western meadowlark, and it deserved a lot more attention, hence its scientific name of neglecta. This bird's actually in the Icteridae family, which is the blackbirds, and it's not actually a lark, but it has a song that sounds lark-like, so just take a listen. This is throwing me back to my childhood right now of those summer nights, and it's absolutely one of my favorites. All right, next on my list is a bird called the musician wren, and you'll see why in just a minute. This wren is absolutely stunning. It's got a bright reddish orange coloration to its plumage, and it's native to South America, if that makes sense. So the northern end of South America. This bird also hangs out solo. I mentioned that a lot of these beautiful singing birds like to hang out alone rather than in flocks. And there's quite a few subspecies that look quite different from each other in this species. And so we might see a split come in the future because some of that evidence is starting to come out. They also have different songs, a lot of them, so we'll see if there's a split in the future for this bird. Now, the reason it's called a musician wren is because it sounds like a symphony warming up and tuning its instruments before taking off into a musical masterpiece. So let's listen to this beautiful call. All right, next on my list might be my favorite singing bird in North America, the hermit thrush. It's one of the most widespread forest birds across the entire continent. Its song is beautiful, haunting, and mesmerizing. Now, some of you might be thinking, what about the wood thrush? And I'm sorry, guys, I've listened to the wood thrush call, I've listened to the Swainson's thrush call, I've listened to the hermit thrush call. The hermit thrush just speaks to me, but if you think the wood thrush deserves a spot on this list because I did not include it, let me know in the comments below. So let's take a listen to the hermit thrush's very complex call. Next on my list is a very, very interesting bird called the pied butcherbird. Now, you can find this bird across almost the entirety of Australia. It looks a little bit like a magpie, but what makes this bird interesting is it's called a butcherbird because it cuts up its prey and then it'll store it by sticking it on barbed wire or thorns, kind of like our loggerhead shrikes do in North America. These butcherbirds actually dismantle the insect and put different parts in different places. It has a very haunting whistling song, which I find appropriate for its name, so let's take a quick listen to this bird as well. So the next bird on my list, you probably won't be surprised that it's included. It's the common loon. Now this bird, of course, is native to North America and it also winters over in Europe, so a very big range for this bird. And its song is also featured a lot in movies because it sounds very haunting and mysterious, so you'll hear it on other planets. As a birder, sometimes movies are ruined by, hearing a killdeer in the middle of Dune when they shouldn't be anywhere near Earth. Kind of just takes you completely out of the realism of the movie. Now this is a diving bird that always hangs out in the water. They never really go on land. If they do go on land, there's something wrong. They hang out on large lakes, but mostly they hang out on coasts. So let's listen to one of my all-time favorite songs, The Common Loon. All right, so what's number one? What could be better than all of these? And it might surprise you. This is a very nondescript little brown bird called a veery. Also native to North America. I know I probably have some North American bias. That's the continent I'm from. And I know I'm missing some amazing birds. So if you find yourself outside of North America and you have suggestions on what the most beautiful call is, I really want to hear it because I might do a part two. Now the veery, once again, is a thrush, and thrushes a lot of times have very beautiful songs. The hermit thrush has a beautiful song. The veery has a beautiful song. The wood thrush, like I mentioned before, has a beautiful song. And again, this bird primarily feeds on the ground. and hangs out kind of alone. So another singing bird that likes to hang out by itself. Now, the reason this song is number one in my book is it's super complex. You have to listen to all the different layers. It might not sound the most put together. It might not sound the most beautiful and carrying out of all the things that we've heard so far today, but listen to the complexity of this song and how difficult it would be to try to replicate all the different notes that are going on here. Let's listen to the Veery real quick. Like I mentioned before, this list is highly subjective. This is my top 10 of the most beautiful songs in the world. I could be convinced to switch things up, so let me know in the comments below which one did I miss, which one do you think is the most beautiful song in the world. Make sure you check out Bright-Eyed Birding, where I take you on adventures once per week where we go find a lot of these birds. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope to see you all next time on Bright-Eyed Birding Learn.